Your brain is supposed to be your most trusted organ. It runs your body, stores your experiences, and helps you function like a normal human being every single day. And yet, it lies to you constantly, not occasionally, not sometimes, constantly. Today on Mandora, we are going through 8 memory glitches that prove your brain is honestly kind of dumb. Deja vu. You walk into a building you have never been to before. A stranger passes you in the hallway, someone nearby drops their keys, and then a weird feeling creeps in. You have been here before, this exact moment, these exact people. Except you have not. You literally just got here. Deja vu happens when two systems in your brain decide to go rogue. One processes new experiences, the other recognizes old ones. Normally they stay in sync, but sometimes the recognition system fires too early before the processing system finishes. So your brain stamps a brand new experience as already seen. Like a security guard stamping your hand before you even walked through the door. Scientists link this to the temporal lobe where memory and perception share an awkward amount of office space. It lasts only a few seconds before your brain moves on like nothing happened. You are not psychic, your brain just has terrible timing. Jamais vu. Now imagine the exact opposite. You are writing an email, you type the word think, then again, and on about the fifth time you stop and stare at it. THINK. Suddenly that word looks completely made up, like someone smashed random letters together. You start second-guessing yourself. Is that how it is spelled? Did someone change it while you were not paying attention? That is jamais vu. And it is just as stupid as it sounds, where déjà vu makes new things feel familiar. Jamais vu makes familiar things feel completely foreign. The reason is repetition fatigue. When you repeat something too many times, the neurons responsible for recognizing it get tired and stop firing at full strength. It also explains why staring at your own face in the mirror for too long starts to feel deeply unsettling. Your brain literally gets bored and stops cooperating. Déjà vu and jamais vu are basically twins. One is annoyingly confident, the other is embarrassingly clueless. The Mandela Effect. Quick question, does the Monopoly man wear a monocle? If you said yes, congratulations. You have a false memory and you share it with millions of people. He has never worn a monocle, not once. This kind of shared false memory is called the Mandela Effect, named after Nelson Mandela because thousands of people clearly remember him dying in prison in the 1980s. They remember news coverage, a funeral. Some even remember his wife giving a speech. Nelson Mandela did not die in prison. He was released in 1990, became president of South Africa, and lived until 2013. So why do so many people share the same wrong memory? Because your brain is lazy, instead of storing exact details, it stores the general idea and fills in the blanks using patterns. You do not remember what Pikachu's tail actually looks like, so your brain just assumes it matches his ears and slaps a black tip on it. When millions of people make the same lazy assumption, you get a massive group confidently misremembering the same thing together. It is not an alternate universe. It is just your brain taking shortcuts and not telling you about it. Honestly, a bit rude. False memories. You're absolutely certain your sister wore a blue dress to that family dinner. You would bet money on it. Then someone pulls out the photos and the dress is clearly green. Every single time you remember something, your brain does not play it back like a video. It rebuilds it from scratch, and every time it rebuilds it, small details change. New information sneaks in. Your emotions color things differently. Psychologist Elizabeth Loftus spent decades proving how fragile this is. In one study, she convinced adult participants they had been lost in a shopping mall as children. It never happened. But after a few leading questions, they not only believed the false memory, they started adding their own details to it. She also showed that simply changing one word in a question could alter a memory entirely. Subjects who heard the word smashed instead of hit remembered cars moving faster, and some even remembered broken glass that was never there. Your memory is not a recording. It is a rough draft, and your brain edits it every single time you open it without asking for your permission. Confabulation. You are telling a story from years ago. Halfway through, you run out of actual details. But instead of stopping, your brain smoothly keeps going, filling in gaps with plausible details delivered with full confidence. And you genuinely believe every single word coming out of your mouth. That is confabulation. And the wild part is, it is not lying. Lying requires you to know the truth and choose otherwise. Confabulation happens when your brain has no idea what the missing information is but refuses to admit that, so it invents something reasonable and presents it as a real memory. You could take a lie detector test while confabulating and pass it. Because you are not lying, your brain is, and it did not even bother to inform you. Your brain hates uncertainty so much that it would rather fart out a made-up answer than sit quietly and admit it does not know. It is basically the academic equivalent of writing a whole paragraph on an exam about something you never studied and praying for partial credit. Cryptomnesia. In 1969, George Harrison of the Beatles wrote a song called My Sweet Lord. It shot straight to #1 around the world. Shortly after he got sued, a music company claimed his melody was almost identical to a 1963 song called He's So Fine by the Chiffons. Harrison denied copying it intentionally. He said he had no idea, but a judge ruled the copying had absolutely happened. Harrison was ordered to pay over $500,000 in damages for a song he genuinely believed he wrote himself. That is cryptomnesia. It happens when your brain retrieves a forgotten memory but presents it to you as a completely original idea. You feel creative, inspired, brilliant even. But buried in your memory is the original source your brain secretly borrowed from without mentioning it. Your brain forgets where it found something, then rediscovers it later and hands it to you as inspiration. Congratulations, you are a genius. Except you heard this 3 years ago, and your dumb brain just forgot. You are not stealing, but your brain definitely is, and it does it with a completely straight face. Misattribution. In 1984, a 22-year-old woman named Jennifer Thompson was attacked at knife point after reporting it to police. She studied photographs, examined a lineup, and pointed to a man named Ronald Cotton with full certainty. Cotton was convicted and sentenced to 2 life terms in prison. He served 11 years before DNA evidence proved he was completely innocent. Jennifer Thompson had not lied. She genuinely believed she had the right person. What happened to her is called misattribution. Your brain remembers the content correctly but attaches it to the completely wrong source. Her brain combined fragments from different moments, different faces, different contexts, and assembled them into one confident but incorrect identification. Misattribution happens in smaller ways all the time. You credit a joke to the wrong friend. You recall a scene from a film and later swear it happened in real life. Your brain stores the what and the who in different places, and sometimes when it puts them back together, it just gets it completely wrong. In Ronald Cotton's case, that mistake cost 11 years of his life. Repressed memories. Have you ever had a strong emotional reaction to something and had no idea why? A specific smell hits you in your mood tanks. You drive past a building and your chest tightens. A stranger's laugh makes you uncomfortable in a way you cannot explain. There is a chance a memory is behind that reaction, just not one you can reach. Repression is your brain's emergency shutdown response to experiences. It decides are too overwhelming to let you consciously carry. The memory is not erased, it is just hidden somewhere your conscious mind cannot normally get to. These memories can surface years later triggered by a smell, a sound, a specific place, or through therapy. But when they do come back, they should be handled carefully because the same brain that locked them away is perfectly capable of distorting them. Repressed memories are one of the most debated topics in all of psychology. The line between a genuine recovered memory and a false one formed under pressure is not always clear. Your brain protects you from what it cannot handle, but protection and accuracy are not the same thing. So there you have it. Your brain rewrites your memories every time you access them. It invents details it does not have. It steals ideas and calls them original. It frames the wrong person. It hides things from you. And it does all of this while making you feel completely certain that everything you remember is accurate. The confidence you feel about a memory tells you absolutely nothing about whether it is true. Which of these hit closest to home for you? Drop it in the comments. And if this video just made you question your entire life, that means Minder is doing its job. Subscribe. New video every week. We will keep breaking down the weirdest parts of being human. See you next time.